All right, guys, Wes here. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk about Starfield. So as you guys know, Starfield has been on everyone's radar for years now. And with the recent announcement that the final release date is set in stone, the hype has never been bigger for this space RPG. Bethesda has got a lot to prove with this new game, and the team just released a new trailer along with the release date of September 6th, meaning it was indeed delayed again, but it looks like this is going to be the last time. But in today's video, we're going to be going over all of the important updates we learned for Starfield. We're going to deep dive into the Starfield trailer so you know exactly what you're getting from Bethesda this year. Also, check the pinned comment. I announced the 100,000 subscriber giveaway winner, and because the last giveaway went so well, we're going to be doing it again. So if you guys would like to win a PS5 as well as a game copy of your choice, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, comment your Twitter handle, follow me on Twitter, and then tweet me proof that you're subscribed. The winner will be announced at 110,000 subscribers. On March 8th, a new trailer for Starfield was released with a ton of updated gameplay footage and a laundry list of new details about the game. For starters, it seems like the Fallout 4 style looting is back, which should be good news for those of you that have played that game. Fallout 4 may not have been the most universally loved game in Bethesda's library, but the looting system is solid, and it will likely be a great fit for the kind of game that Starfield is trying to be. It seems the damage feedback system from Fallout 4 is also returning to some degree, as a lot of the HUD indicators in the new Starfield footage look pretty similar to that of Fallout 4. However, when looking at the inventory screen, it reminded me a bit of Oblivion, which I thought was an interesting detail. Oblivion is often called Bethesda's greatest RPG, so I have no problem with them looking back at that game and revisiting some of its great ideas. There were also a few clips that suggested some kind of UI customization, such as custom crosshairs, as one clip seemed to show the player using a pink crosshair instead of the default one. Some Reddit users were also very excited about the space dinosaurs, and I admit, they look pretty awesome. I mean, who wouldn't want to run around a strange planet alongside a giant alien brontosaurus? One of the biggest improvements I noticed in the new trailer when compared to the older footage that we got in the past was the character animations. Every character looks way more natural than they did previously, and it makes the game world seem much more alive. Bethesda games have been known previously for having kind of stiff character animations as a byproduct of jam-packing so much story content into the games alongside it. I mean, if you're going to splurge on either animation or content, most people would pick content, so I think Bethesda made the right call prioritizing their storytelling over their presentation back in the days of old with Elder Scrolls 4 and 5 and the early Bethesda Fallout games. But with Starfield, the team at Bethesda is seemingly trying to fight the old stereotype of stiff characters and awkward animations, because they've clearly put a ton of work into making the characters much more fluid, at least since the last time we saw the gameplay. Bethesda has been using their extra development time wisely, and I am eager to see what other improvements have been made since the earlier trailers. One little detail was caught by a user on Reddit, and that is during the gameplay we got a brief look at helmets with a stat called corrosive. This seemingly confirms that acidic atmospheres will play some kind of role in the game, meaning acidic planets like Venus will likely be explorable, but only if you have the gear to tank the damage that the atmosphere is going to do to you. Walking around acidic planets without a high enough corrosive stat on your gear could lead to various nerfs, or maybe just kill you outright if you're there for too long. Only time will tell, but it's a cool little detail that I'm excited to learn about more when the game comes out. It's a nice indicator of the attention to detail that Bethesda is taking with this game. There's also some little details in the inventory that seem that space truckers are going to be a thing in Starfield, meaning characters whose entire job is just transporting stuff from one planet to another, which as shown in games like Elite Dangerous and Euro Truck Simulator can be extremely fun and satisfying if done right. Given how massive Bethesda is trying to make this game, I wouldn't be surprised at all if being a full-time space trucker is actually a viable strategy. There's also options in the menu to hide helmet when in breathable areas, which is an awesome quality of life feature that means using a helmet won't suddenly restrict you from ever seeing your character's face. In a lot of RPGs and loot-based games, it can get a bit frustrating unlocking cool new helmets or hats because you want to use them for the extra stats, but you don't want to use them because then you'll never see your custom character. But luckily, Starfield is meeting us halfway by including an option to automatically remove your character's helmet when you're in a breathable environment without sacrificing the stats the helmet provides to you. We also have to point out the creepy space monster we saw at the end of the trailer, which was labeled as a level 75. And while it's unclear if this game is going to have a level cap, I think we can assume that 75 will likely be a pretty respectable level if this thing is a representative of the kind of enemies that will carry that number around with them. Also hidden in the new gameplay footage was direct references to new confirmed planets on the player's HUD. Apologies for the mispronunciation. One new planet is Charbitus 3, while some other planets now confirmed include Niso, Cassiopeia 1, 2 Ceti 8, and what seems to be Mars. The HUD is also showing what phase the moon is in for whatever planet you're on at that time, time, which is a pretty awesome touch that will do wonders for immersion. This new footage also showed us inside of a space station for what I believe is the first time, and the vibes in it are awesome. It's the perfect mix of clean, sterile, and scientific design with a more worn out tone that shows how long people have been living there. It has me so excited to just jump into the game and start exploring all of these places for myself. There was also one clip where Todd Howard was speaking to the camera, but some wizards on Reddit managed to pause the video at the perfect time on a Bethesda employee's screen in the background to reveal a location that seems to be some kind of mech factory on a Mars-like planet. Now we have to talk about the unfortunate reality of Starfield getting an official release date, and that is Starfield was once again being delayed. I've actually just flat out said that I didn't believe that it was coming out in the first half of this year in my previous video, especially with how little we heard about the game until recently. I just didn't think Bethesda was going to hit the mid-2023 deadline that they set for themselves. So it wasn't surprising at all to see the game be pushed back to September, and honestly, I think it's a good thing. On one hand, Bethesda gets more time to polish the experience to make improvements like we've already seen already in regards to the character animations, but on the other hand, early 2023 is already stacked, so Microsoft made the right move getting away from all of the craziness that's happening in the next few months. I mean, anything that launches remotely close to the new Zelda game is just asking to be swept under the rug. And sure, Spider-Man 2 may be coming out in fall as well, but that'll be exclusive to the PlayStation 5, while Starfield is going to be exclusive to Xbox and PC, so they won't really be competing with each other. And yes, I know Zelda isn't launching on Xbox either, so that comparison might sound a little strange, but you get what I'm trying to say. Starfield will benefit from more time in the oven, and there really isn't any reason for Bethesda and Microsoft to stress about getting the game out the door before the midpoint of 2023, so why not push it back to September? Frankly, I don't see any downsides to this delay. One good thing to come from Starfield's delay is the fact that it will likely no longer take up any space at the upcoming Xbox showcase. Many fans of Microsoft and their game studios have noticed in the recent years that there are a lot of projects in development that we still know next to nothing about. And while the early 2023 Xbox Developer Direct wasn't really what people were hoping for, there is confirmed to be an Xbox showcase happening right before that E3 time, which is going to be where they talk about their first party lineup of games and just do some banger announcements that we usually get from Xbox. Up until this new Starfield trailer came out, I think a decent of us were a little bit concerned about Bethesda's Starfield taking up half the conference at the Xbox showcase. And now that we got the Starfield Direct for June 11th, that should mean that the Xbox conference is going to be dedicated to upcoming Xbox Game Studio projects. And personally, I'd rather have that showcase be more tailored to the stuff that Xbox has coming out, rather than seeing Starfield again. Starfield is getting bigger and better, and the more we learn about it, the more hyped I've been. Obviously, I'm pretty skeptical still, but if everything comes to fruition, this will be the big Bethesda comeback that we've all been waiting for it to be. Starfield is an extremely ambitious project, and there's a lot riding on it, so I don't blame Bethesda and Microsoft for wanting to take their sweet time with it. I am just really excited and just ready to play this game, and I'm sure that you guys are as well. I know a lot of people have been pretty skeptical about Starfield as well as Bethesda as a studio, but I just have a funny feeling that Todd Howard and the entire team at Bethesda Game Studios is going to completely crush this game and just knock it out of the park. Obviously, we're going to learn more whenever the Developer Direct happens on June 11th, which I really hope they just give us some raw gameplay, uncut, give us like a full mission, flying down to a random planet, landing and then doing a full mission and just seeing everything raw and uncut. The way they delivered the previous gameplay showcase was pretty solid, and it was enough to give us kind of an idea of what the game was going to be like. Granted, it did show a bunch of glaring issues with the animations, the gunplay just kind of looking a bit wonky, and it just didn't look like a very polished experience. Obviously, it's a Bethesda game, so we can expect to have a little bit of jank here and there, but this is their first time using the Creation Engine 2, so they have to kind of prove to the consumer that this is not going to be a situation of Fallout 76, and the experience is going to be somewhat polished whenever you compare it to previous projects. Now, we know the game is not going to be like entirely optimized. I'm not expecting it to be, but I want it to be in a stable state where there's not game-breaking glitches that completely ruin immersion, and they just allow us to just jump into the game and just experience Starfield in all of its glory, how the developers intended it to be. So hopefully whatever we get with the Starfield Direct is good. It shows an optimized game that is just a completely massive RPG that will be played for decades to come. But yeah, guys, that is going to wrap it up with this video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel with your notifications turned on, and also don't forget to enter the 110,000 subscriber giveaway. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, comment your Twitter handle, and then tweet me proof that you're subscribed. I've got the full details in the pinned comment, as well as some extra bonus entries if you guys would like to take advantage of those. And until next time, guys, this has been Wes, and I'll talk to you in the next video.